Talk about being a Pro Bowl again.
Yeah, it's exciting. Just being here, 10th year. Obviously, it's changed up from the first time I came, being in Orlando and still playing a real game, to now being in the flag games, though. But being here with so many of my teammates is fun. Getting to see guys like Christian McCaffrey, guys that I've been here before, that we've created relationships with, great friends throughout the league. Just getting to come back together, camaraderie, hang out, and get to put on for the fans and have another interaction with them.
How meaningful is it for you to have the year you had after being injured last year and playing all 17 games? We'll say 16, but it's 17 now.
No, for sure, it's huge. I mean, even honestly, it's what me and Christian McCaffrey were just talking about, right? Finishing this season healthy after, being in the league this long, understanding that injuries, little nicks and knacks come up, but to finish the season playing all the games and being healthy and getting to go into an off-season full go without having to, doctor something or bandage it is a blessing, and super, super thankful for it.
Y'all bet on who's going to get comeback player of the year?
No, I mean, I think we're all deserving of it. It's one of those things I don't think anybody necessarily cares who wins. Every nominee is deserving of it, and so congrats to everybody who's up for it.
How about Jerry Rice as your coach?
He's serious about this thing, and I understand that, right? We're all competitors, and we want to win. There's a nice little money up for the winners, so, Micah just all reminded everybody that in the locker room, but his focal point has been winning from the very beginning, so we're going to make sure we do that.
Who reminded you of that?
Micah.
Micah's not playing the game. Why is he worried about the money?
Because if he wins, I'm sure he still gets his cut and his percentage. And a guy that, can't impact the game wants to make sure that he can anyway.
Can you just talk about the season you guys had and the disappointment, you being healthy and offense playing as well as they did and not even making the playoffs?
Yeah, you just said it's disappointing, tough year, up and down. But at the end of the day, we, on offense, as much success as we had, we still didn't play complementary in those games that we needed to. Some of those games that we did win, the defense the one that stepped up and allowed us, right, to have an opportunity to win. You think about the Philly and you think about Kansas City, and so some of those games where they didn't play their best, we didn't play our best by scoring as many points as we could. So that's just the reality of this game and the team game, and it's an important offseason. We know we got to get that side of the ball right, but we got to make sure that we aren't complacent with what we've done on our side of the ball. We've got to get one of our guys signed and make sure that we take a big step on offense as well.
You said getting one of your guys signed.
Yeah.
Which one are you talking about?
Yeah, the guy out here. The guy out here that doesn't have a contract, no matter whichever way that they got to do it, he's an important piece of this offense, important piece of what we're trying to do. And so leave it to those guys. Obviously, if I need to get involved, I've said it before, I will. But confident in Jerry and everybody who makes those decisions and how much he means to us.
I know you had high hopes when they signed Pickens or acquired Pickens, but the season he had, I mean, you couldn't have imagined before.
No, you couldn't. No, you really couldn't. And it's credit to him. It's credit to Jerry. It's credit to the front office going and making that deal. You get a guy like that, and you're just looking for help for CD. And when you get into the season, and CD you have a whole off season, you're planning for how to attack, and then after game 2 or whatever, CD goes down, and then this guy really just steps up and comes into his own and shows us how great of a player he can be, and allows us to see we have 2 number ones, and it was a blessing for us. It's the main reason we got to keep him. He does more than just open it up for CD. He's a game changer himself, and we've got to use that.
How much have you kept up with the defense coordinator search and CP? Have you met CP, yep. Christian Parker? I guess they call him CP back home?
Yeah, definitely call him CP. Hadn't got to meet him in person, shared messages. I understand the excitement everybody has, from Shotty to Feeds to the whole staff. Just being with the Pro Bowl, didn't get to meet him before I got out of town, but super excited about it, and our messages that we shared. Competed against him for a long time. He's always made it tough against me. I'm excited we can do it together.
You talked to any Philly guys about him and what to expect at all, or no?
No, I really haven't. I'm sure I will, whether it be Cooper, some of these guys, Zach right there. I'll definitely get with them, but just the excitement that we have from within our building says enough.
What do you do differently this offseason?
Start earlier, honestly. I've already started training. Obviously, I haven't hit it non-stop, but I've already getting in more days than I've gotten in at this point in my career in an off-season, and just doing that with how beneficial last year's rehab was, just trying to stay on the stay on it and just stay in top shape.
Being at the Super Bowl again, and the Cowboys not being there, is that a monkey? Is it a cloud that hangs over the franchise? Did it hang over you? Is it personal? What do you?
It's a little bit of all of it. Monkey, gorilla. He grows, he gets bigger each year that we don't
gorilla,
make it. And that's real. Talking to Micah, it's one of those things. You become a rookie, you get in here, and everybody thinks they can win the Super Bowl, and they think how easy it is. And when you have a year like I did as a rookie year, you think you're gonna have multiple opportunities to get back, and you sit here in year 10. having opportunities in the playoffs and not doing what you wanted to do as a team and definitely individually, it hurts. And every year, it just means even more. And so being here, you want to be here and you want to be playing, but the mindset that I have, we go through everything for a purpose, and you can't tell me that all these 10 years and every experience I've had wasn't for us to, be better and to get there next year.
Amen.
On Friday, we got 3.5 million paid.
Let's see if we can get out of here. Well, hello, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope you all are having a great Monday. Tomorrow, oh my God, can you believe it? We got the Pro Bowl. Hey, football is back, baby. Yeah. The Pro Bowl. Do you care? Will you watch? I guess we'll watch because it's football players, at least. And it's all we got. It's all we got left, okay? Let me say hello to Gina Dallas Diva. What's up, Gina? We've got the lovely, talented Holly Pierce. What's up, Holly? We got Nico and Steven up in here. What's up? Our Queen Cockroach. Sarah wants to send a chicken tomorrow. You want to send a chicken to me? What the heck? Okay, all right. That sounds good. Alan Williams in here. Junior Ramirez is in the house. Mean Metal Mike, what's going on? History Man, what's going on? Mystery Man, History Man? Doing good, and you? Kiana's in the house. What's up, Kiana? And Shane's in the house. What's going on? Welcome, everybody. So we're sitting here. We're waiting to get the rest of our coaching staff together. We're waiting to get George Pickens signed and paid. We've got the Pro Bowl. We got the Super Bowl next Sunday, less than a week away. And then we got the off season. Before you fret, though, there's still a lot of football talk to be going on because we have come March 11th, the beginning of the league year. With that, free agency. We already know that salary cap's going to go up about $25 million, more cash for the players. Everybody's got a little bit extra to put under the tree and try and get their players signed, and maybe some new ones. The Cowboys, well, they're talking the talk, but we don't know if they're actually going to walk the walk. And before we get to all that, let's take a good listen to my good buddies from Sleeper.
Sleeper is the #1 fantasy sports app. It pays to know sports. Pick more or less on top players. Your first pick is on us, so start winning now. Play in Texas, Georgia, Minnesota, and 27 more states. Pick anytime across all sports, pregame or live. Over 10 million players are already on Sleeper. Make your picks count. Score up to 1,000 times your cash. Join today. Get up to $100 credit using code JOBU. Call your shot on Sleeper. Download now.
Make sure you download the app and get your $20 bonus as well as your first deposit of up to $100 and use the promo code JOBU. Shout out to Sleeper. So the thing that's been kind of good to me, we had heard about a week ago, Adam Schefter said that there may be some big Eagles news beyond hiring an offensive coordinator. Now, to make things a little bit crazier, Jonathan Gannon has been hired by the Green Bay Packers as defensive coordinator. And it's funny, or actually amazing, that it seems to be just like a spin cycle when it comes to coaches that, even though you may get fired from one place, you get rehired by somebody else. Robert Saleh, who last year was let go by the Jets, went back to San Francisco for a year, and then, of course, ends up being the Tennessee Titans coach. Coach from Atlanta Falcons, gets fired. He goes to become defensive coordinator for San Francisco. So you may lose your job. You may get a demotion, but you're probably still in the cycle. Hell, even Mike McCarthy, after sitting out for a year, now is in his childhood team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, looking all giddy and even crying. Now, there's the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I don't see as many Eagle fans as I used to. My numbers have dropped a bit because they're a bit butthurt right now. And they're worried. They're worried about Nick Fangio. Nick Fangio has been talking about retirement soon as the season ended. And I'm going to say, now I'm just going by my own personal thoughts here. Nick Fangio's defense is probably as good as it's ever been. They played lights out. He got more out of his players and his defense, even with my man spitting on people, Jalen Carter having a rough season. He still had a great defense. And at 67 years old, I mean, it's hard to believe he's only 7 years older than me, but yeah, I'm old too. He's kind of like, I got my Social Security. I've got my pension. I've been doing this for 40 years. And he's looking across the aisle and he's seeing dysfunction in Philly. They couldn't find anybody who really wanted to even be the offensive coordinator. Pack attack. Vic Fangio is going to retire on duty. Well, he might. And Eagle fans, they're kind of losing their minds right now because they allegedly have talked him out of retiring, but it's not for sure just yet. And the prodigal son, Christian Parker, has gone to Dallas. Linda, I hope you know Vic Fangio took the job under circumstances of him wanting to retire at the time he took the job. This is not news. Well, you know what, Linda? I have to say the way that sports people in Philadelphia are covering it, it seems to be as big news. It seems to be a surprise. I'm just saying. And if it was, they reached out to Jonathan Gannon, who now is the defensive coordinator for the Green Bay Packers. And some people look and say Christian Parker could have been the heir apparent. Why didn't they hold on to him? And I tell you what, and Linda, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm just going by what I'm seeing out here. And let me go through and let me get a guy I have never heard of. I have never, ever heard of Dan Sileo. Who the hell is Dan Sileo, and why is he talking about Vic Fangio leaving?
And, of course, locally in Philadelphia, the Vic Fangio saga starts. Maybe Adam Schefter, when he was on The Fanatic in Philly, maybe this is kind of what he was eyeballing, that there was some rumblings going on that potentially Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator, might call it a career. He is 67 years of age. He's been doing this thing 40-plus years. How much longer is he going to do it? By the way, if you're an Eagle fan right now, this is the last hurrah for Fangio. Even if this is the last, you better be preparing. 2027, you're not going to have Vic Fangio as your D coordinator. I heard somebody make this comment, and I was going back and forth with Hugh Douglas, and I was texting him, and I said the same thing he said to me. Shit, if you're deciding whether or not to retire, you're already retired. When players go back and forth like this, and you're thinking about checking out, dude, you're already half checked out. Now, I'm not going to tell you Vic's going to give you a half-ass effort in this upcoming year because the dude's not made like that. Sills, like I told Xander, if Sirianni flops again, well, it's Josh Gazard will be the Eagles' next head coach. No way. No way is Josh Gazard going to be the next Eagle head football coach. I like your thinking process because he's a play caller. If this kid, Sean Mannion, if he fails, that's your next OC. I think they're hedging their bets on the guy. They're praying the guy turns out to be great so they don't have to call up a guy from the reserve. Your reserve is Josh Gazard. This is not a really solid plan they have at offensive coordinator. I'm sorry. I don't see it like everyone else does, that a guy who's 24 months old as a coordinator, that this thing is going to pan out and be something special. Hey, it might, and I might be 1,000% wrong, but when's the last time you ever seen a guy with zero experience at calling the plays go on to win a Super Bowl? Have you ever seen that?
Well,
and it's not like you're building the team with the kid. The team's built. It's already built. Sills, it's the offseason. I was watching Carson Wentz. Boy, his arm was special and attacked the middle of the field in 17. Carson Wentz was a great thrower from the pocket. Like I said to you before about a guy like Carson Wentz. By the way, I appreciate you guys coming aboard. Super chats go to the top.
I'll leave the blowhard right there. But Linda, forgive me, Linda. Okay, I thought that this is. So you're telling me this is nothing new. That he might stay or he might go. That this is old news and so on. But it seems like even Philly 500 is kind of panicking about this a little bit. He's losing sleep. I do recall being on here on a Wednesday with just the idea of losing Christian Parker to the Cowboys. He kind of got when Philly 500 shakes his head and he doesn't say when Philly 500 does that, you know it's bad. Junior Ramirez, thank you for the love on the channel. Game Time Brian in the house. What I really need is I need Game Time Brian in here to let me know the pulse of Philly. You guys create stories and hope they stick. You follow him. You're walking over the edge. Again, it's not my fight. I'm just going through what I'm hearing from Eagle fans and Eagle content creators. I'm just saying. So it was nothing to it on the offensive coordinator search where you interviewed like 16 guys before you finally signed somebody that was like Sean Minnow? I've never heard of Sean Minnow. Who the hell is Sean Minnow? And why is he the offensive coordinator? But now here's, let me say, talking about going over the edge here, CeeDee Lamb was over talking with Jalen Hurts. Right? And Eagle fans started losing their minds. Oh, CeeDee Lamb wants to be an Eagle. Oh, he wants to be an Eagle so bad. What? If by that logic, Dak had said in that opening video when he was asked about Christian Parker, and he said, I don't know. He said, yeah, I haven't talked to anybody about him, but, there's Cooper DeJean over there. So is Cooper DeJean going to end up wanting to be a Cowboy now? Is that where we are? I'm just saying. Just seems like there's a whole lot of bullshit going on. Holly, Game Time brother, here they're interviewing DB coach from Georgia. He's under, yes, that is very true. And per Todd Archer, the Cowboys are scheduled to have an in-person interview with Georgia's outside linebacker coach, Childra Dribble, on Tuesday for the spot on Christian Parker's staff, per sources. He was assistant at SMU, TCU before going to Georgia in 22. Cowboys search continues. So, yes, we do have that in-person interview tomorrow. So there's that. Definitely. We have, of course, the Pro Bowl. And the funniest thing I saw on Twitter, because Twitter don't play, there's a picture of Micah Parsons, and he's kind of scratching his neck, and you got George Pickens over there. And the meme that they did was they got, God damn, my brain is not working tonight. It's been out in the cold too much. David Chappelle. And if you've ever seen David Chappelle as the crackhead where he's got the white stuff all over his lip and he's scratching, and they're saying Micah Parsons looking kind of like David Chappelle, like a crackhead that wants to still be with the Cowboys. Minion is like an ex-QB like Kellen Moore.
Oh, shit! Oh,
yes.
Shit.
2 years in, and he was a quarterback coach for the Green Bay Packers, who were middle-of-the-road offense, and Jordan Love was kind of a middle-of-the-road quarterback. So, of course, he's going to take that Cadillac of an offense that the Eagles have and make them great without A.J. Brown. And there's rumors that the Tennessee Titans might be interested in trading back for A.J. Brown. So there's that. So, sights and sounds from the Pro Bowl. We have, last year when the Cowboys traded for George Pickens, I don't know if you guys remember what we heard. We heard people saying that, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they called some teams and things and all that. Hey, would you be interested in trading for George Pickens? And they're like, trade for George Pickens, right? Y'all remember that? At least that's what was being reported. Maybe, like Linda said, that was just some over-the-top reporting by, the national media, which just made shit up. But the Cowboys got him for a third-round pick, right? But every week, they were waiting. They're just waiting, behind the bushes there. Just waiting to see George Pickens go off so they could go, I told you so. I told you he's a bad guy, right? That he's selfish. He doesn't show up on time. He gets mad when he doesn't get the deep passes and stuff. He's, you had, which talking head out there said, I would not want George Pickens. Oh, it was Mark Sharath. I wouldn't want no Mark Sharath. I wouldn't want, any George Pickens on my team. He's a piece of shit and this, that, and the other. He's selfish. Really? And so 10 TDs later and 1,400 yards, we're still trying to do it. Now, shout out to DLLS because they were all over the Pro Bowl, okay? They're all over the Pro Bowl. And you were listening to things like this from GP.
You don't want the franchise tag? I mean, what would you do if they gave you the franchise tag?
That's the thing. I ain't even thought about that because it's been so much, kind of like you said,
right.
Micah's money and some of the space that he had. You see what I mean?
They basically said, we got money for you, so
you see what I mean?
Why are we talking about the franchise tag?
So I just wait on them. That's all I can really do. And chill with the guys.
You don't.
All I can do is wait on. Listen, he literally. Wait a minute. That's about. Whoa. Listen to it again. Listen to him again.
Want the franchise tag? I mean, what would you do if they gave you the franchise tag?
That's the thing. I ain't even thought about that because it's been so much, kind of like you said,
right.
Micah's money and some of the space that he had. You see what I mean?
They basically said, we got money for you, so
you see what I mean?
Why are we talking about the franchise tag?
So I just wait on them. That's all I can really do. And chill with the guys.
All I can do is just wait on them and chill with the guys. Where is this me, bad? I mean, seriously. He sounded kind of like a little kid. Mom, I ain't really thought about, doing that. I'm just doing chilling with the guys, and I'll wait on y'all. That is about as laid back. Is that a guy that's looking to be traded? Tagged and traded? Does that look like a guy that's saying, give me my damn money? I will not play. I ain't really even thought about it. He don't look like he's worried about anything. Which to me, now again, I'm just going by my own personal feelings. I don't have anybody's telling me this or anything like that, but he's just chilling with the guys. That these are his guys. That this is his home now. That he's comfortable. I'm not worried about the money right now. Look, I'm here at Pro Bowl first time. Thanks to being here on the Cowboys and Dak. I wasn't getting the Pro Bowl being in Pittsburgh with those whack-ass quarterbacks. I'm chilling with the guys and having fun. The money will take care of itself. Now, somebody said franchise tag him and sign Javonte Williams. Well, here's the problem. Here's the problem with franchise tag. Okay? First of all, the price will go up between this year and next year. $25 million roughly is what the salary cap will go up next year. The salary cap will have gone up $100 million since 22. You understand that, right? So in 2022, we were looking at a salary cap that was only $200 million. 4 years later, it's $300 million. So every year you wait, the price gets more expensive. And see, here's where I have to go ahead and say the Eagles were smart. They recognize that 4 years from now, the percentage of what I'm paying a guy now is not going to be the same percentage if the number is the same. So it behooves you, shout out to Gina Dallas Divas, got it, spread out the salary cap. Because if you franchise tag him, you're paying him for 1 year, $28 million, a hard number. You know what CeeDee Lamb's number was last year? His second year of his deal, $11 million. So if you franchise tag him and he turns around and has another 1,400-yard season, you're going to franchise him again and have to give him a 30% raise? Or then try and get him another deal? Remember, last year, CeeDee Lamb was the second highest paid at 34. I believe it's up to, is it 41 now? Wide receiver, so we went up another $5 million. So you're better off getting him a long-term deal now than even waiting till the end of the summer when other guys get paid. Get it done. Get it done. Kick the money down the road. Because, see, here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you look at contract, like let's take Max Crosby. Max Crosby signed a record defensive player deal at the beginning of last year at $35 million. Highest paid edge rusher. By the time the season started, he was getting paid $12 million less than Micah Parsons. Now, which one is a better deal for the team over the next 4 years? To have paid Micah Parsons $47 million or Max Crosby $35? I'd say most of y'all can do the math on that and say $12 million less because they got his deal done sooner than Micah's is money in the bank. So getting yourself a franchise tag pisses off the player. Maybe. I don't know. George Pickens seems to be a pretty cool, chill dude right there. But then you've got no recourse in the following year. You're not going to franchise tag him a second time and end up having it being $38 million. You need to do this thing and get it done. And the last thing I want to go through, I don't know about you, but I don't want to go through the off season where we franchise tag him, and now we're trying to get a long-term deal, and come, July 15th, it's not done, and he's on a franchise tag, and then basically says, I'm not going to show up until, the first week of the season. 49er fan, Cowboys number one in how much money they made, which is around $640 million, with the next team around $300 million. The Cowboys have the money and can do a lot of maneuvering. Well, technically, you are right about that. The Cowboys have brought in, but the salary cap is the revenue sharing number that everybody, to try and keep everything even, you have the salary cap, so that way the smaller market teams still have as much money to spend to try and be relevant. Now, that's more money that's actually in Jerry Jones's pocket, but since he spends about $5 million just on gas for his damn yacht, he's taking it. $32 million, 4 years, $120 guaranteed. There you go, Game Time. And the first year will probably be about $10 million. Bam, boom, shakalaka. The Cowboys, if they want, and I'm with you, Gina. Now, I guess as a YouTuber, I can't say that it's hurt me personally, the Cowboys drama. I can't say it's personally hurt me, but I don't want the drama. I want my team. You know what I really want? I want a no drama offseason. Think about the things we went through last offseason. We kept hearing about the Dak Prescott watch. Oh, Dak Prescott. We had Mike Farello and Stupid sitting there saying, well, Mike, Dak Prescott's hamstring was pretty bad. He may never be right again. It ripped off the bone, and and of course, the Cowboys have an out in like a year. They should trade Dak or cut Dak and move on. I don't want that. You heard Dak Prescott say, hey, I've already started working out for next year. This is as soon as I've really started working out. I don't want to lose anything that I had momentum-wise. I don't want any distractions. I want to be ready to rock and roll. Send you a link. Oh, shit. Hold up, Game Time. Okay, he doesn't want any distractions. He's already said, if I need to go to bat, I'm going to go to bat because I want to get this thing done. I like having that kind of guy as opposed to Michael Gallup or Noah Brown, a.k.a. Clifford Franklin. Dak understands, for me to become comeback player of the year, for me to try and be an MVP, I need Dak Prescott. I need him. Got to have him. And Game Time, hold on. Okay. Bear with me for 1 second, y'all. There you go, Game Time. Boom. So Dak recognizes I want CD and I want George Pickens both. I'm going to be greedy. I want them both. And we need them both. Okay, let's be clear here. You weren't getting that kind of production out of Noah Brown, Brandon Cooks, or who am I forgetting? Michael Gallup. You just weren't. And we need those guys on our roster. So we have actually, my buddy Game Time is in the house. And I've been talking to Game Time a little bit off air because I finally got off my fat ass and got to work on Pro Bowl. Excuse me, not Pro Bowl. Jeez.
That's why I'm here, brother.
The draft. The draft, okay? Sometimes I am just too damn lucky. I swear, it's got to be freaking Joe Boo over here because sometimes things work out that just shouldn't. You know what I mean? You ever have that happen?
Yeah, man. Sometimes, your first move, we get upset. Maybe something don't happen for us, and then the next move is the right move. This looks like it was the right move, man. I'm excited now. I went from I probably won't go this year, and then
Man.
Mark does what Mark does. Oh, we're gonna go. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do it. And I'm like, all right.
Didn't we go to Kansas City?
We went to Detroit as well.
Didn't we go to Detroit?
I know, but you know
man.
how it is. It's always like, you know how it is. But anyway, yeah. So I'm listening to your conversation, and listen, you have said nothing wrong, and I don't know where you want to go, but let me just touch on the early part of what you said. The Eagles,
I tell you what, Linda,
you're not hating Linda.
She's
I
like,
love
oh,
Linda.
that's old news.
Well,
y'all
listen.
just making shit up. It's like, wait a minute, the
You know
guy
where that
might
comes
retire.
from, though? Do you know what that comes from? And listen, Linda, we actually remember it. It's been a while, but me and Mark both remember the winning times. That comes from winning, right, Mark? You just feel like nothing can hurt us, right? It doesn't matter. We got people saying, well, we have a good year, we have a bad year. We have a good year, we have a bad year. So I guess this was a bad year, even though they won a division. So now they're expected to go and win the Super Bowl again, or make it far. Listen, we're not being hypocritical. We're just all we're doing is really reporting what's out there.
And if he does retire, I think that's
if it was
big.
Dallas, we would be reporting that too. Like, did these people think that we wouldn't? We would be going, you know what, deep in on it, right?
Yeah.
We would be criticizing the Cowboys. It's not the way to go about it. You would think you would want to have this information, right, regarding Vic Fangio.
Again, I'm an outside observer, and this is where.
And listen, we all really are, right, Mark? We really don't know. The only people who really know are inside the building.
Well, right. Nobody really knows, but it seems like there's a lot of people panicking right now,
right,
about Vic Fangio. And here's where I don't understand if what we hear is correct, that he's been talking about retiring.
He has
since the end of the season.
He has.
He is 67,
and
not that that's old because I'm 60.
Yeah, but I mean, again, we don't know what's going on with the man in his personal life. We don't know. Maybe we all have stuff, right? We all have stuff. We don't just come out and say, "Well, we got this we're dealing with," right? We all got something.
So here's the real question here then. If Vic Fangio has been talking about retiring since the end of the season, right? And if Christian Parker is the guy that everybody says he is, why would you allow the Cowboys to interview him? Why wouldn't you kind of say to Christian?
I don't know that answer, and it's going to sound like a troll, but I'm going to give you one. I'm going to give you my thoughts.
Give it to me.
We don't have the answer, right? Because that's the golden ticket. But what I have is Christian Parker wanted to move on. Okay, he's not a lifelong Vic Fangio guy. He was from Denver. He was under Sean Payton. He was under other people. He is already on record saying he's going to take from Fangio and add his own flavor, which is what all you people should do. You can't, I can't copy Mark Holmes, right? I can't. He's one of one. So we take what we can and we try and add our own spice to it. Some people like it, some people don't. It is what it is. Now we're hearing Christian Parker maybe wasn't high on their list to retire. Now we're getting that.
Right. Now
now it's all Clint Hurt all the time. And I'm like,
it's my ex syndrome.
Yeah,
Girl,
I don't know what to believe.
Only about this big,
Linda. I don't know what to believe. Logan, I don't know what to believe. All we're doing is reporting. Now, I've gotten yelled at for this is what we're at right now. Certain people, not everybody. I'm not allowed to bring up the local radio station. So when I listen to local radio, that's not a source. We're not allowed to listen to Jacob Sports, right? That's not a source.
Then what is a source?
I'm bringing up sports writers, like guys who cover the team, and we're saying, "Oh, okay, well, I don't know about that guy." So they're only looking for guys who speak the positive narrative that they want. Listen, it is what it is. Welcome to winning and being in a winning mode where this is what happens. You can't keep everybody. They want to move on, right? I don't know. See, here we go. 94 WIP is trash. Half of 94 WIP is ex-players. So you're calling John Ritchie trash? You're calling Seth Joyner trash? You're calling Ike Reese trash? You're calling Hugh Douglas trash? These are ex-Eagle players who should have a voice. They would know more than me and you, Logan. But whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Well, then who is trusted?
Well, that's the thing. They don't want to hear anything.
No, I mean, we can say that we do know that when we listen to Cowboys guys, that they're going to
shade
Logan,
things. I got you, brother.
They're going to shade things towards Jerry and Stephen Jones because they don't want to be out of the inner circle. So sometimes they'll do the bidding and business for the Cowboys and tell you everything's okay. But they're telling you bad news, right?
Yeah.
It would seem like they would be saying, "Oh, there's nothing."
I'm not going to stop. Okay, I've told certain people you can keep being negative. Thank you for the comment. I'm going to continue, just like when I'm. They don't have a problem when we're negative about Dallas, right? They don't have a problem with that. But if we're anything negative against the Eagles, it's like, well, you know,
not saying anything bad about the Philadelphia Eagles.
Again, you guys have won. Congratulations. Now deal with the winning part of it. This all comes along with it. Having to overpay for players. You can't always sign everybody early. You're going through that now. But I wanted to bring something up. We can get off the Eagles. I'm not trying to I'm not trying to upset anybody. But I was watching the. I know you are. I was watching the. I was looking around, and the ratings have come out. The teams ranked by total fans drawn this season. Attendance.
Cowboys by far.
And
not even close.
Everybody wants to stop buying T-shirts, right? Well, that's good. I mean, Jerry Jones is worth, I think, $31 billion, and I think his franchise is worth $13 billion, something like that. It's not going to a game or not buying tickets is not going to really matter. They only had 8 home games this year. Some teams had 9, right? Because of the they have events. Mark could tell you they have events every other week at AT&T. Literally, the small part of their schedule is Dallas Cowboys, right? They have Final Fours, they have rodeos, they have monster trucks. They got everything there.
Mike Tyson versus Jake Pauls.
Oh, there you go. So the numbers are out. Dallas sits number 1 with total attending. Now, that doesn't mean Cowboy fans. So I will give you that. That's just total. 1,367,559 fans have walked in the door of AT&T.
Averaging $94,000 a game.
Parking? Let's dig into where they're making their money. It ain't the tickets, right? It's the parking. It's the beers. It's the I want to say
$12 freaking beers and $15.
No. Up it now. I was in Vegas. They were getting like $17. I didn't drink a beer. I know Phil had a couple, but I did not drink a beer for that price. $17. I think it's $18 at the link. Ridiculous. Put it in the comments if anybody knows. I mean, at AT&T. So I don't know. It's a little cheaper in Dallas, but that's a lot. They're making their money in concessions and parking and all the bells and whistles. The tours that Mark loves so much. The $50 tour.
Yeah. Yeah, they're making money. Oh, it's not.
They're printing money, everybody.
They're not worth $13 billion for, no reason.
Right.
It's because they are a money-making machine. Even being a team that's had a losing record the last 2 years, they still make money.
Exactly. And I bring that up to say it's not about the money. It's about how they want to. It's about how they want to go about doing their business. We're gonna know soon, Mark, whether they're real serious. I saw Demario Davis. Did you see his comments? Did you see Demario Davis' comments?
No, what?
He looks jacked.
He is jacked. That is a guy who you wouldn't believe the off-season program that he does.
He's in it big time. He'll be 38 next year.
Yeah.
Now he did say, so this may not fit the Cowboys, that he wants to go to a team that's ready to win. So I'm not here to say that, but I would love to see, because you got to remember, everybody's trying to give us N'Kobe Dean. N'Kobe Dean does not wear the green dot, has never worn the green dot. So if you want a guy who comes in here, I think, what better than maybe go get a Quincy Williams? That's fine, but also bring in this guy for just 1 year.
You know what? The
That would be such a great job.
The way he can teach, the leadership value, and he gives he gives it all. And
That's
when
what I
they
mean.
get,
He's a leader.
when you sign a guy like him, you will get a no nonsense, a very religious man who is about playing those games on Sunday and giving it all. There's
And some people are just built different.
He truly is. I told you
he
he's
has
special.
at least 1 year, probably 2. I wouldn't sign him to a 2-year, but I'd say 1, and then we'll see where we go. Why not?
He would be so much better than anybody we've had at linebacker.
Especially if you drafted a young one. That would give you some really good, somebody to pick their brain up. I don't know. I know.
Yeah,
I just was watching his interview, and I'm like, man, this dude, he still looks good. So I don't see why you wouldn't do it, but he might get a nice amount of money, so that'll be curious for a 1-year deal.
I don't know that the Cowboys do. I mean, you think about like Calais Campbell.
Yeah, they're still.
Calais Campbell would have done better than anybody we had, other than Quentin Williams.
Yeah, this is true.
On the defensive line, seriously, at his age of 38.
Good night, Junior. Thanks, brother.
So I'm going to ask you, what was your thoughts when you heard George Pickens being asked about the franchise tag, and he literally said, I hadn't really thought about it.
I know he doesn't want to be franchised, because if you pick into his quote, he said, "I want to do what's best for both sides."
Right. Yeah.
So franchise is not that, but he said it in a way where you could actually sit down with that person and have a conversation, right?
You didn't hear him say, "You better not franchise. I will not play on the tag." That's no.
Yeah,
he's
absolutely.
like, "Look, I'm here to do what's best." And the way he said, "I'm here chilling with my guys."
Thank
to
you,
me,
Ellie.
it sounds like he feels like this is his home.
Yeah. I don't listen. Dallas is not it now. Stephen Jones. He did some things. He, instead of just stopping, we have every intention, we would love George Pickens back. But he went on to say, but we're going to keep all of our options open. And that's not really the case, because there's only 4 real options, right, Mark?
Yeah.
There's franchise tagging him. Well, listen, it's signing him to a long-term deal. That's the best for all parties involved. That brings down the salary cap. That gives him security. That helps Dallas with the salary cap. Next is franchise. That's $28 million, all on the cap this year.
Yep. Hard
That
number.
doesn't help the player. Yes, that's $28 million, minus what the agent gets, minus taxes. I know it's in Texas, but still.
Yeah. Basically, that says we're not going to re-sign you.
Yeah, because you can't do that again, right? Because now it's ridiculous.
30% increase.
Yeah, so it's a one and done at that point. Then it's sign and trade, right, Mark? That doesn't happen anymore. NFL, that would be stupid, right? Because, all right, so what are you going to get, a second and a third after you sign him to a long-term deal and get? That's not going to happen. Or let him go altogether and get a third-round comp pick next year. That's not going to happen. So it's going to be, the first 2. I think he gets signed long-term. I really do. What's your thought on that? I think just listen to him. I think he's going to get it done.
I just don't want another offseason of bullshit. You know what I mean? Where we're, we're going to get it done.
Yeah.
And then we just wait and we wait and we wait. And we just start seeing guys getting paid again and again and again and again. I mean, think about Max Crosby was 35. Last year was the highest paid, edge rusher. And by the end of the summer, Micah Parsons is at 47,
Yeah.
So if the longer you wait, the more it's going to cost you. Get this thing out of the way, get it done, and move on to the next thing.
I would just be nice with him, and I would offer him the CD deal. But maybe a little less guarantee because of some of the off the field stuff, and maybe some stuff that could give you past the CD deal. Not a lot, but I would. He's CD Lamb. I mean, he doesn't run the route tree that CD does, but he also doesn't drop the ball.
But he's got better.
CD
I was going
does.
to say he's got better hands than CD.
But he may quit on plays at times. But there's good and bad. They're very similar, even though they're very different players. I think the best thing to say, Mark, is, and I've heard Dallas fans say this. Well, why don't we, put CD on the trade market? Well, why would you do that? I mean, why would you do that?
You don't. Okay.
It makes no sense.
Dak recognizes how much nicer it is to have somebody like George Pickens who catches just about everything. Okay, as opposed to a Noah Brown, a Brandon Cooks,
the
Michael Gallup.
Dak's longest pass this year was the one against the Eagles. The long one at home when they came back and beat them.
For everybody who says he's too expensive, how much did we give up for Jonathan Mingo, Jalen Tolbert, paying Michael Gallup, paying Brandon Gallup? We still paid $4 million last year for Brandon Cooks not even on the team, and $8 million for Michael Gallup not on the team.
When you see the good people pay them, I mean, it is a timing thing. It's funny. That's what it's about. And Dallas isn't always the best with that, but I think they'll get it done. I think they'll get it done with Pickens. I don't think it makes any sense. And again, everybody's, Dallas got more money. Like
everybody got more money.
Everybody. That's not good.
And guess what? The players are going to get more money.
Yeah, everybody's.
It's all relative.
Yeah, these guys can't help themselves, meaning these other owners. They can't help. Just look at the Cleveland Browns, giving Deshaun Watson all them a fully guaranteed contract. Again, it's the NFL. I don't believe you should do that. Nothing against the players, but the fully guaranteed contracts is nuts in the NFL. It's just not that type of sport. But
no.
They can't help themselves. Lamb is forever sure made. Yeah. Okay. I just don't understand why we would contemplate getting rid of. This is just part of the fan base, and it comes from they want to win. That was the best offseason move out of any team last year, Mark. Was George Pickens.
We can just go and we can just find another guy like that.
You brought it up earlier. You were like, we were the laughing stock when we made a trade for him.
No, but listen, you remember them literally saying that Pittsburgh called
now he's better than CD.
Calling one GM and they hung up the phone laughing.
Yeah.
Okay. And every week somebody's waiting for him to, he's about to explode. Oh, he's a bad guy. You thought he was Greg Hardy. The way they talked about him.
If anybody knows anything about a good receiver, not everybody's Jerry Rice, right? Not everybody is, I don't know, pick a guy who's not very boisterous and just not. Most of these receivers are divas. Look at A.J. Brown in Philly. There's nothing wrong with it, right, Mark? You were going there.
T.O.
T.O. Good one.
Des Bryant.
Des. Yes.
Michael Irvin.
Most of them are. Most of them aren't the Reggie, or at least the real good ones, right? Most of them aren't Reggie Wayne, where they're quiet, or not Wayne, Marvin Harrison, real quiet guy.
Ocho
Cinco. Yeah, bingo. This goes on and on. Larry Fitzgerald wasn't, but I mean, pay him. Yeah,
there more of them are than aren't. Okay, they're head cases. They want the damn ball, and they want their bunny.
Logan, I would say this. They complement each other well. He says George is better than CD. CD dropped the balls this year. CD runs every route. CD can play inside and out. CD does lose concentration, Logan. So don't ask me why that is. I don't know if it's his prescriptions. I don't know.
Can we make a summation here? Okay.
Let's summate.
Is George Pickens a better receiver now than he was in Pittsburgh? Or is the circumstances that he's playing under makes him a better player?
That is exactly why you see the smile on George Pickens' face. Yet again, and I'm hard on Dak, but yet again, he's getting somebody paid. I mean, George Pickens comes to Dallas and has a fantastic year, correct?
Everybody has career years with Dak
I'm pretty critical of Dak because I just want to win a damn Super Bowl. So I need him to elevate in certain six, but I mean, man, he gets guys paid. He gets guys paid big time. So George Pickens he knows he's about ready to get paid.
Yeah. He knows, and that's why he's not worried. I mean, coming off of $3.5 million this year, it's like, okay, worst case scenario is I get franchise tag and get 28. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Gina says he only quit on a play when they were playing all those games with 13, within 13 days. George was tired in that game. Yeah, Gina, I never really got a good explanation, sorry, as to why he ran that route. He does it from time to time, like most receivers. It's blown out of proportion, and you would like for him to run the routes harder at times, but it's
Hey,
easy for me to say. I'm
I'm
not
going to
running.
say I saw
you know.
some games where Micah Parsons was
Oh,
dogging
absolutely.
it, okay, in some of the
Absolutely.
plays.
And they paid his ass more than anybody, right? Non-quarterback. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And it-
Absolutely. Michael Parsons, big time with that. Big time.
So don't
Clear,
say-
right,
yeah.
Logan?
When something happens with the Cowboy player, they're the only ones.
I
Dak
agree,
Prescott's
Cowboys,
the only
agree.
quarterback out here who hasn't won a Super Bowl or been to an NFC Championship game because everybody else is always there. Trevor Lawrence is always there, right?
Yeah, right, exactly. No, I know. But, well, just look
Oh
at
my
this
God,
year.
Nico says Mark he's got a better quarterback than Dak.
Who?
That George Pickens has a better quarterback in Dak than what he had in Pittsburgh.
Well, that's absolutely true.
Yes,
I
it is.
mean,
But nobody ever says that because Dak's a garbage quarterback.
And you can't say, yeah, and you can't say they did it. I know they only had 7 wins, but it wasn't because of their offense. I'm not saying we all know why they only had 7 wins. They
30
set
31
records
freaking
on
points.
offense. I mean, team records. Dak Prescott. I mean, they were the number 1 offense in the league. So
He
how
gave
can
up
that
almost
not be good?
31 points a game, man.
What's up, talking Cowboys sports?
Yes.
How you doing, man?
That hurt my soul watching that defense, man.
It was bad. It reminded me. It still didn't seem as bad as the Mike Nolan. Maybe statistically it was, but it didn't seem as bad. It was. It was like frustrating, Mark.
It was when we have like 3rd and 11, and every time it seemed like they would
Yeah.
always get it.
Well,
Hey,
when you're like you're playing a zone, right, and it's 3rd and 6, and you're playing 4 or 5 yards off the receiver, it's not going to work. We were at the Raider game this year, and Phil screaming, "Get up!" Because when you're there on TV, you could see it, but when you're there, you could really see it. We're like it was like 3rd and 6, and we dominated the game, but in the points that we didn't, because we were just letting them pitching and catching. It's like get up on the receiver, and I did not understand why they didn't change their scheme at some point. It was just dumbfounding to me.
I don't know why they didn't just fire him sooner. Yeah.
Once he went to the booth upstairs,
It's like,
supposedly
why were we holding on to him?
he was done. Right. They should have let him go. They were just trying to save him face, I guess. Because this is a Cowboy channel. Dirty Sanchez. That's what we do here. We talk Cowboys. But yeah, so I think they get the deal done with Pickens. I do.
We're relying on Catboy.
Catboy. Yeah, I know.
Well,
I know that
game
one.
time, we want to bring him back, but the salary
The
cap
pieces
is a
of
real
pie.
thing.
Pie. Oh, that's
and
Jerry.
we don't believe in doing what other teams have done that have been successful. We have to say we march to the beat of our own drum, and when we're talking about my inheritance, I don't want to be giving it away to the players. Okay.
Every time I hear you say that, it brings back images of him grabbing Jerry and throwing him up against the wall when he signed Deion Sanders. What were you doing? Because Jerry just went ahead and pulled the trigger back in before the '95 season and threw Jerry up and says, at that point they weren't worth that much. They gave most of their, what was it, $50 million or something to Deion. So it was really cool. That's like when you talk like that, it reminds me, like I could see like Steven just grabbing Jerry saying, "We're not drafting Johnny Manziel.
boy.
We're not."
So I got Jack here. I guess Jack off is what it is. 12571 who says my impersonation is terrible. But he says Christian Parker can't play DB or your weak ass defense, and you're right about that. But here's the thing that I actually like about the guys that we're getting.
Hey, Kiana,
Getting guys that have been around the NFL and around different players, that you may end up attracting some premier free agents that want to go with the coach that they like. and having younger guys as opposed to an old guy, Matt Everfuss, you have to think that Matt Everfuss being in Chicago and failing, people are like, oh, yeah, I want to go play for that guy. No. Didn't you just get fired from Chicago?
Yep. Well, it's funny because, just look at, you're reading his comments. He's just very negative. And listen, I guess he doesn't remember when Dan Quinn made us a top 15 defense in year one, or what? I think it was top 10.
Yeah.
After the Mike Nolan year.
Mm-hmm.
I think we finished 9th in total defense.
We did.
Something like that. But I could be off a couple. I got somebody now like Googling. You were wrong, but we were up there from last, and we weren't 32nd. We were like 39th. That's how bad we were with Mike Nolan.
Now
and
one thing I will say though, because we were so bad that year, I think we ended up having a third place schedule.
Okay,
that first year.
Yeah.
Just saying, we had a few easy games, and our division wasn't really that tough. You had the Eagles that were really good. The Commanders and Giants sucked.
But I'm just saying.
It was a major improvement.
Obviously, it was because we always play our division well. That's not the issue. Our record or Dak's record against everybody else is 500. But against the division, we dominate our division, which is what you have to do to get into the playoffs. But what I was getting at is don't tell me we can't improve. Because I think we can.
You got nowhere to go but up.
Right. That's why Christian Parker came. Being a coach in Philly is not all that because you're expecting, right? If you have anything but a Super Bowl year, it's considered a failure in their mind. I don't know about next year, but this past year. So, I don't know. Not my problem. We just talk about it.
Well,
it's not my problem to worry about.
This offseason thus far?
Yeah, yep.
How do you feel about this offseason? Are you happy with it?
Well, yeah. I like how they got rid of Eberflus right away. That's different, right, Mark? Isn't that different?
Without a doubt.
We're hiring young, I think more relatable coaches to the players. I love Ansley from the Packers. He's from the Nick Saban tree. I think we upgraded in coaching in our secondary. We got a secondary defensive coordinator. That's wonderful news. So, I like it, but it's all going to come down to free agency. Are they going to take their vacation and not work the first week in free agency? That's what I'm waiting to see. They can be on a boat. I don't care, but somebody better be signing players the first week.
Yeah. Here's the
at least one player the first week.
Yeah. But, spending money in free agency doesn't necessarily get you.
But you have enough holes.
Right. I mean, because you can look at the Jets and Washington have spent more money over the last 10 years than anybody else.
But we have two first-round picks.
Yeah, we have two first-round picks, but then we don't have a second and a third. But here's the thing. The Cowboys have not spent more than $6 million.
$7 million was the toughest with Murray, right?
No.
I mean, the highest. That was the highest.
Are you sure about that?
I think it was $7 million.
Was he $7?
But regardless, you're there. That's not a lot of money. $6-7 million. Yeah, it's not a lot of money.
Then he would be the highest that we spent money on in free agency over the last 10 years.
Yeah,
that ain't good, bro.
It's not good. And I have some info, and I was I was watching. Bobby Belt broke it down. Dallas has been the best drafting first round team over the last 6 years, even with the Maji Smith debacle. And that's also just by how good of players that we're picking. That includes Tyler Smith. Mm-hmm. Everybody said it was a ridiculous, believe it or not, if people thought Michael Parsons was drafted too high. So believe it or not. So
well, I tell you what, he's got pretty much similar numbers to this point of DeMarcus Ware's career.
Yeah, he's a beast, but
65 sacks in 5 years.
I don't think D. Ware, he had back problems. He never suffered an ACL. We'll see.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not wishing ill will towards Micah. Let's not get anything confused or twisted. I just don't know how he's going to rehab. It requires a lot, Mike. Mm-hmm. Does it not, Mark? And we know that he likes to do
it may end
up
being that next year is a lost season.
We got a super chat. Linda
I see from Linda. Dallas has the potential with the most upside and has the ability to gain ground in the division. You got all the animo, Jerry.
And that's
Jerry
all we're
doesn't mess up.
asking,
Yeah.
Linda, right? That's all we're asking.
We're chasing. Look, be clear here. We understand. You guys are in the number one seat.
Bingo.
And we're trying to get there.
That's all we're saying. And we're not allowed to have, that's what bothers me, not with Linda, because she's, she supports us, but she's very knowledgeable as well. But some other people, they just want to negative all the time. Dallas can't ever do, it's like they stole something from them. It's like, well, no, we've seen it many times. Look in the Super Bowl, everybody. There's a 4-win team in the Super Bowl this year. Yeah. Last year, New England Patriots won 4 games. So don't tell me we can't, right?
The Eagles' first Super Bowl win, they were in 4th place in the division the year before.
I'm not saying we're going to the Super Bowl. I'm telling you, don't tell me we can't. We're going to hold them accountable in free agency. To Mark's point, we can't build through free agency, but we have enough holes, Mark, where we need a corner and we could use a linebacker. I think we could both agree with that. Maybe
an edge rusher, too.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, but I mean, that's not too much. We're not saying go get me Max Crosby. Eagles Drew sent me a message today. It was hysterical, and he didn't obviously read. It was some nobody on I don't know if it was Twitter. His name was Dick Johnson. Saying, saying that Max Crosby wants to play for a winner, and he's named the Eagles. Eagles, Panthers. I'm
Mr.
like, Drew,
Johnson,
I said, dude, just look at the guy's name, and he doesn't have a blue check mark, which means he doesn't even want to pay the damn $10 for the damn check mark.
Oh shit!
So we got Dick Johnson telling. I just thought it was funny. He may go. Listen, he may go to the Birds. I'm just saying, stop reaching, man.
Well,
Dick
we'll
Johnson.
see. They did the rental with Phillips, and he's looking for about $30 million. So, good luck for them trying to get that one done.
That's what I'm saying. He's going to get a lot of money. He's probably not a $30 million guy, but free agency, right? You're going to get overpaid.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. And,
all right, brother.
At
least we closed it out. It was a good half hour.
Yeah, it definitely was. You working tomorrow?
I am back out in the snow. I was working inside today, but the ice is going to be hard. But yeah, I'm back.
I'm back for tomorrow. You guys, man, because I'm looking at
it. Sucks.
The schools are still closed.
My allergies have been bothering me. Yeah, I don't know why. You would think they wouldn't, but I don't know. My allergies have been off the hook.
Yeah, I got to try and see if I can dig out my mailbox here because the plow's about 4 feet from it, and it's just
You'll never get mail. You'll get mail in the spring. You might just want to go to the post office and hold it.
that might not be a bad idea.
And just pick it up.
All right, good people. I appreciate everybody being here, and we will see you soon.
The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old